Okay, good evening. It being after 6 PM, I'll call this January 18th meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Please all rise and join me in saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First order of business is approval of minutes from 11:09 and 11:23. I don't see the 11:23 minutes in here. Are they in here? Yeah.
Yep.
I have an extra copy if you send it up.
I just wanted to make sure we're all there. Yep, so we're all in attendance, so I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
I don't have the warrant amounts, I just realized.
Uh-oh. What do you do about that?
I never did it.
All right, we'll step back the approval of the warrants. And we'll move to financial items. So first up, we have Superintendent of the Schools, Mary Jane Rickson. Mary Jane here?
She's not here.
Don't see.
Not here? All right. Police Department ARPA funds request, I think we presented it at the last meeting. And I think now we have Fire EMS with a matching request for ARPA funds. You guys are asking for hazardous duty type pay with ARPA funds?
Yes, I mean, if the, you know, if there's any, if you guys are considering giving hazardous pay to first responders and police, fire, and EMS, we definitely would like to, you know, consider us at some proportionate level, whether based on hours they did or whatever the call guys. Other fire chiefs in the area have had gotten the same request in, call in full-time staffing. And I also have had numerous other town employees ask me about the hazardous pay fund, but it's something that I said that the Selectmen's office will, you know, have to decide how that's gonna work with who's considered, you know, in that group. It's not my place, you know. But in the same token, yes, we would definitely like to be considered for it, because we are in the trenches of it. And I know there's different levels and,
Yeah, and I don't see an amount on here. What's?
well, that's, I didn't, to be honest with you, I don't know what the department, police department has asked for. I don't know what we can ask for. I didn't even know if you want to entertain a hazardous pay, to be honest with you, up to this point. So I just want to, in behalf of my firefighters and EMS personnel, I want to make sure we're on the forefront of if there is a chance of getting them something proportionally. I know you guys have been fair to us with everything else. We would like to consider.
Yeah.
And I know you would take care of us if that is the case.
So,
I think Ashley said there's some kind of formula.
I know she mentioned like
that, but
$13 an hour for hours.
We don't know what it is yet. She was gonna look into it.
formula
For who, you
from
know,
the state, or?
I think so, with that, how it's supposed to be distributed if you do that.
Some of the departments that have emailed me through the Fire Chiefs Association they've come up with figures, different figures, however they do it, I'm not sure. But some departments around, such as police and fire, have gotten like $3,000 stipend, you know, set figures. I've also heard of things like $13 an hour for the hours call guys have worked on, you know, so say they did 70 hours since COVID started, or whenever the program is allowing it to go, then they would go 13 times those hours. So,
Yeah,
you
and I know in some towns, the unions, the various unions presented a number to the board.
Right.
And then there was a negotiation back and forth, and they settled on some number somewhere, but.
I understand that, and you know, the police are well deserving with it, with everybody else, because we know they're interacting with the public constantly. But, you know, like anything else too, you guys are too. You guys are interacting with them, with the public, your people in the office are acting with. You know, there's a lot to consider, and depending on.
Yes, So, what do you think about like making a committee,
We should have a committee.
this, to, like, a member of FinCom, a member of the board, a member
You guys
of
deserve stuff too.
the public,
Yeah,
you know?
and
You
maybe
know, it's true,
fire and
all these
police.
agencies, including yourself.
Maybe have members of, like, you know, I'm putting my budget together and, you know, I know it's tight and doing the best I can, but maybe highway, water, sewer, to look at those places where it's applicable as well for those funds, not just for payroll, but for infrastructure type projects that can alleviate some of the strain on the budget, so it's not, you know, something that might have to be done, like the North Main Street water issue, that might be able to supplement out of those ARPA funds. And that comes off the taxpayer, or it comes off
Yeah.
the budget, in other words, right?
Yeah, the only thing is, the more people you put on a committee, the more wieldy the committee gets,
Yeah.
so.
I agree,
but
but we do have to, like, if people don't know about it, like, I'm not sure how versed Jamie is on that stuff, because he's new to the position, so if they don't know that those funds are there, then they're operating completely blind.
See,
Yeah.
I don't know how this could, you know, even if you guys had a figure capped out of the ARPA funds towards hazardous pay, if you choose to give a hazardous pay, you know, I had Ann do this for me just for the heck of it, but basically part-timers and full-timers in town, there's 204 employees. You know, that includes the school, the general government, the fire, board of health, police, highway, water, cemetery, and library, and your office is all included, so, you know, and whether or not there are possibly, you know, the committee could come up with ideas of maybe, this was mentioned by another chief, where they first responders was in a category versus the second category of interpersonal, less interpersonal, and then, you know, kind of broke it down and worked the formula for each one, so, you know how money is like anything else, you know, in a family, it can bring everybody together or it can tear them all apart. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of the town employees feel they've been in situations where, you know, they're interacting with the public like yourselves even, you know, I'm speaking up for you guys too. You guys have all got to deal with people, but, you know, maybe the categories being looked at of first responders and then maybe a second category, these were things that some of the other chiefs were talking about.
Yeah,
To
so-
break it down and maybe come with a cap figure and then break that from there as to how many hours and their exposures and, you know, we're right in the trenches with it, but yet the police are interacting with people screaming and yelling at them in their face. I mean, and you guys, it's all the way around, so.
yeah,
I just
so,
like, I don't wanna see the family break apart over money because the interaction between the agencies here is unbelievable. I know it is with police, fire, and ambulance, it's the best you'll ever see. You
yeah,
know, like-
so we wanna make a committee to just generally study the ARPA funds and how the town will use the funds. I mean, to Trevor's point, we can have that committee discuss whether it goes to the different people and then allocate a percentage, and then you can use that to reduce your budgets
I think
to.
we wanna get the best bang for our buck.
Yeah.
And particularly when times are tight like this, we wanna make sure that, you know, if there is a way of supplementing some of that stuff for budgetary purposes, then all the better, right?
I think
Yeah.
maximum of five
All right.
people on the committee, and then, but each department can have their own spokesperson to bring stuff to the committee. Right?
Yeah, well, I don't wanna study it to death, I mean.
Right.
Just as a general
Well,
proposition.
you're not in a rush either, you've got till 2024.
Hmm, that's true.
What did we end up getting from that?
700 right now.
700?
Yeah.
And we gave you, what, 60?
We've allocated about 70,
Seven.
that's for the total project. from
So far,
beginning
so-
to end, and I don't think it won't go over that, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
But I
gives
mean,
us
you
a-
can eat that up right away. And
What,
if you're not,
700?
by the time,
If I ate
what is it, 20
700,000, it would be, we'd have a Taj Mahal down there.
no, I'm not, but if you give everybody, say you gave everybody X amount of dollars, and there's 200 and how many, 30 people?
Yeah, but again, that's.
So like so last meeting, we discussed doing a second handicap entrance to the,
Yep.
right? But I said, you know, we need to put that by council on aging as well.
Right.
It's their bailiwick, right?
Yep.
But from a public health standpoint, needs to
It
be
should be
another
done, yeah.
entrance there,
Yeah.
right?
And
it's one
that's
of those
20
things that.
That could be 20 grand right there, so,
Yeah, right,
you know,
sure.
there's
But
100
but it's
between
also
your.
a thing that, it's also a thing that wouldn't necessarily get into a normal budget, because we'd be like, we'd be in situations like we're in now, going, oh, we could never do this. Well, we
Right.
have the opportunity to do some capital,
Right.
capital things.
Yeah.
And with it, and
You
with
know,
us.
you know, I've put in a lot of time on this, I'm sure you're all aware, because I always talk about it, but, you know, when you do a capital thing, it's there for a long time, hopefully. And, you know, and I'm not opposed to, you know, in our draft proposal, we asked for pay for the people down at the recycling center. But we should be looking at how to best do those things that we can.
Right.
But
and-
like you
and
were
work
saying,
on it.
when you look at the numbers, it sounds really tough, like ours is 30, we got 32 guys. But again, we got guys that don't put many hours in, so say our pay was based, you know, our recovery for hazard was
Per
based
hour.
on hours.
Yeah.
So I get guys that do a lot of hours, and I got guys that only come in a certain call, so might have one with 20 hours and another guy with 100 hours.
Right.
So really, those numbers would dwindle if we had a figure we were adding to those. So that's what these other chiefs were talking about, how would you proportionally pay guys that don't always do a lot for us, but they're there for us, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we're basing on our hours, which we have all those hours in record.
Yeah.
You know, from pays and everything. And, when I spoke to Ann today about it, the same thing was said, you know, she says, hours take you a long ways, it shows, you know, what part-timers are doing here, and, you know, it's kinda like one of those things that,
Yeah.
you miss one agency and you get feelings, right, no matter how you do this, you know, money either.
Well, that's
brings
why I
you-
mentioned to Trevor, we
Yeah.
got 7, we just ate up 90 in
Yeah.
2 projects.
Yeah.
The dump project
maybe
and the
that's
thing
what I'm
there.
saying,
So now
maybe
you're down
you
to
guys-
610 already, we haven't done anything yet.
Maybe you guys could cap it, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have to make the final decision as to who's gonna get it, you know, or is it gonna divide it up into mini parts to, you know, and help everybody. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
let's just put together a committee to study it and make a recommendation, and we'll
Then you guys
put,
will have to.
yeah, we'll tell them what the ideas are, and, you know, they can have a few meetings, and you guys can go, like the finance committee, and talk about it. So,
Maybe Ashley can send a memo out to each department and say, come up with your thoughts,
yeah,
and then bring it to the committee type of thing, you know?
so we just need to figure out what 5, so maybe a member of the board, a member of FinCom, probably somebody from the general public, like a member at large type of thing. That's 3, so
Yep.
is there anybody else that needs to be on that committee?
Bill King.
A member of planning?
You don't have nothing to do, right?
That'll teach you to show up.
My guess is you'll probably have to come up with a cap figure that you wanna spend amongst everybody.
Right.
And then, you know, that you're comfortable with, and then we'll have to work with that.
You still have to reserve fund
Right.
for down the road,
Yeah,
because
well,
you got until
yeah.
what, 24? Until you get another disbursement, if any, yeah.
I know on behalf of the guys, we thank you for even considering it, to be honest with you. So, they're pretty excited about it, and that we'll come today and talk about it. Because a lot of times, you know, you just might not get it, you might just go to full-time, it might go to this, but it is what it is, and there's ways of doing it proportionally to help everybody, I think, if we do it right. You know, maybe we're not gonna get rich on it, any of us are gonna get rich on it.
Right, yeah.
But a little
All right,
something-
so entertain a motion to create an ARPA fund study committee with a maximum of 5 members. 1 to be a member of the Board of Selectmen, 1 to be a member of the Finance Committee, and the other 3 to be determined.
Okay, so moved. Second.
All right, motion made, second, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so that puts the committee together. Why don't we post it? See what kind of interest is out there from the public, other committees that think, I don't know, Bill, do you think somebody from planning needs to be on something like that, or?
Not necessarily.
Well, I was
more
just
of a-
saying him
more of
in
a
general, because he
funding
comes to
issue?
a lot of the meetings,
Yeah.
and, you
You're
know.
gonna need us
It
from the
should.
department heads to be part of the committee, or just to come to the meetings?
Just to come with your
Just-
ideas,
Yeah,
more.
to present to the,
Okay, I get you.
to
the
whatever
committee,
committee's gonna
yeah.
be making the recommendations, and then they'll issue us a report as to how they think it should be divided and which ones, you know, because different departments are gonna come in with different projects and different needs, and they have to meet the ARPA criteria, right? It
Right.
just can't
Yeah,
be generally spent on anything, so.
thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll put it on
Will you be
another
able to Put
agenda.
out what those requirements are, so we know ahead of time, so we don't come in going, hey, we want this or that, and then you go, well, you can't have that. You can't
Well,
have that."
we're not.
Well, it's in your email.
Yeah, we
You
have-
guys already know the,
but For us right now, it's more or less the hazard pay that we'd like to,
yeah.
you know, work out with everybody.
Yeah, there are certain criteria, and I know,
Yeah.
infrastructure project for the, transfer station,
Yeah,
recycle center was
stormwater.
one of them, yeah, stormwater.
You can, some of those infrastructure projects, like, you know, like you get done.
Yeah, originally it was the sewer project because it's, you know, mandated and it fit the criteria, so we were talking about that too, but, put it on the agenda, put it out to see what kind of interest there is for the at-large seats. And
One of our firefighters, did have contracted the COVID on a call, and, did went into COVID, AFib, and, he has now been shocked back into rhythm. And, so it's out there, and it is a hazard to certain people, how they receive it, and we all know that.
Mm.
So anything we can do to help anybody, please let us know. We really appreciate you guys considering it.
All right.
Oh.
So, next up, Finance Committee Reserve Fund request. We have a
There's two of
request
them.
from the Finance Committee. I think we already talked about this one, didn't we?
We already
The
talked about the.
Council on Aging
Council on
reimbursement,
Aging.
right?
Yep.
Did we vote on it already, so
We-
we're just signing, or?
We didn't vote on it yet.
Okay, so it went to the Finance Committee that approved taking Finance Committee money to reimburse the Council on Aging for the emergency plumbing repair. That Michelle Thayer paid out of pocket to make sure it got repaired, and, Council on Aging. Did the COA pay?
Yes,
So they paid Michelle,
yes. They paid Michelle, and then reserve fund is paying back
paying
COA.
back. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to endorse the transfer.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Right. And we need to make sure that that doesn't happen again, regardless of what the contractor says he can and cannot do,
Exactly.
because I thought that was wrong.
Well,
To put her in that situation.
I did speak to her about that, but we should probably send something
Just
out.
well, we should send a
Yeah.
letter to all departments to make sure that nobody's paying
Yep. Out of pocket.
out of pocket
It
on
was
behalf
an
of the town.
emergency thing,
Yeah.
and, you know,
Yeah, her heart was in the right spot, I
It
get
was,
it,
yeah.
but, you know.
Yep.
And now we have a reserve fund request from the Finance Committee to go to the town beach to pay for the porta potties. The unforeseen reason is that when the town asked for a 3% cut, the town beach committee returned the 3%, more than the 3%. It looks like they returned everything they had in their budget. And this bill was unknown to them at the time, so they're looking to get the $500 from the reserve fund to pay. Already been approved by the Finance Committee, so I'll entertain a motion to endorse there.
So moved. Second.
Motion made second, all in favor of that?
Aye. How is that going down there? The playground, beach committee, you guys doing anything, or we on hold until the spring, or, you know?
The plan that we need in different alternate towns,
Yep.
They're right there.
Nothing? No.
they have to do that.
Well, I know Mr. Byron passed away, so Ann might be able to get out of the house now, I don't know.
Just noticed that.
All right, so,
Okay.
going back to the approval of the warrants, I'll entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 15A in the amount of $2,530. Payroll warrant number 15 in the amount of $357,784.43. School warrant number, is there a number on it?
It should be on the-
1033 for $35,481.32. And general warrant number 1034 for $209,278.87.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay, that's done. All right, so we're going to appoint a new COA director. Does the Council on Aging want to make a recommendation as to the new COA director?
We recommend that you appoint Donna Segwin, who is, introduce you. This is Donna Segwin,
Okay,
our new COA director. And when she starts, to start next Monday, the 24th, and when she starts, Michelle Thayer will resign from the interim director position and rejoin the Council on Aging.
okay.
Is Michelle willing to help out? Well,
She is.
transfer and stuff?
She's going to, but it will be on a volunteer basis,
Oh,
because
yeah.
obviously we can't pay two
Right.
people at the same time. So
She's
Michelle-
good-hearted doing that, so just,
Michelle is willing to help Donna during the votes,
yeah.
so,
And you're good with Donna, how she's gonna run the programs and stuff to your satisfactions?
we feel after all these months, it's been about, what, since July, that we haven't had Sharon had to resign. And Michelle has been doing an excellent job, but she could not take the position at this time. And we've interviewed other people. We actually put the process on hold for a while because we just weren't getting people who were qualified. And all of a sudden, Donna popped up. We really weren't anticipating even starting looking for somebody until after the new year, but she came along in late December, I guess it was, and somebody said, let's interview her and talk to her, and she is the best we have. She fits the bill. I feel we're very happy with her, and we're anxious to welcome her to the COA.
All right, well, based on the COA recommendation, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to appoint Donna Segwin as the director of the senior center.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Looking forward to
We
it.
need it.
I came from substance abuse positions, and this is going to be entirely different and hopefully a lot more fun.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to it. It's an important position for our elderly to have somebody that's, gonna take everybody into account, both sides. So we hope that that's what happens. So good luck with that.
I will do my best.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so. Jim, we'll take you next, so I know you had to move on, so.
So, I'm here to give an update on the Townhouse project, from the Friends of the Brookfield Townhouse. Glad we were invited by the, Board of Selectmen to update everyone. I'm going to, go through first what, we were able to accomplish in 2021, and also early so far this year, and then we'll talk about our plans for the future. So, last year began with an application for a TAP, which is a Technical Assistant Panel, from Urban Land Institute, ULI, out of Boston, state organization. The town was awarded funding for this program, which took place in June. Urban Land Institute was not the only important state agency to take part in the TAP, as Mass Development and Central Mass Regional Planning Commission were also involved. Throughout the process, the Friends and the Downtown Development Committee were able to strengthen relationships with these organizations. The TAP consisted of interviews with stakeholders involved in planning for the future of our downtown district, a thorough review of past planning accomplishments, and a walking tour through the downtown area. At the conclusion, we were invited to join a public Zoom meeting for ULI and Mass Development to go over their initial impressions and recommendations, which were quite favorable. Later last year, the panel sent us a full report on their recommendations. One of the recommendations was that we have a community gathering to go over their recommendations. And I think since these organizations are important to our project, to our ability to receive funds in the future, I'd like to see the town follow through with that and alert the community to everything they've recommended. Some really good stuff there. In March, we had members of the Friends work with a faculty member and students from WPI to help us add vital upgrades to our website, including improvements in ease of navigation, messaging, and functionality. After the students had finished their portion, the faculty member continued to assist us periodically throughout the year. Our website has come so far in the last couple of years, and it's so important this day and age to have a great website to disseminate information and to have a portal to accumulate donations and also to communicate with anyone that visits the site.
What is the site, Jim?
It's nbtownhouse.com. And what we've talked about, and we're pledging to do this, is to put quarterly updates on our activities so that people will be informed on a regular basis. And I'm not positive if this has happened yet, but if not, we'd like to link to the town website.
I was just gonna ask if that was.
I think it may already have happened, but.
I think it has, I'll double check.
Yeah. Okay. In June, we sent an application for a state grant known as the One Stop, which would have allowed us to pay for final construction plans. So I can tell you, I've been on the Friends board for 8 years now, and every year there's new projects, new steps to complete to get us closer to the point where we can raise the capital funds needed to do this project. And we're to the point now where that's the last piece, final construction plans. So we applied for the one-stop application, and because state funding was limited, we were not awarded the grant. But we were told by the state agency that they love our project and they want us to apply again this year. So we're optimistic that we're going to be able to get that. The Central Mass Regional Planning Commission has offered to help us write that grant, actually do most of the writing for that grant for us, which is fantastic because they're excellent, and I feel good that we're going to get that one. Speaking of Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, Friends and the Downtown Development Committee went to their annual dinner in June and received an award on behalf of the town of North Brookfield for excellence in community development and planning. The presenter really praised our community for energy expended over the past 3 years to set the groundwork to rejuvenate the town. So that's one state organization. The others are like our project, they're behind us as well. And we feel really good about those relationships. That same month, we hung 2 banners on the Townhouse to promote our arts programming with help from the fire department and their ladder truck, so thank you guys for that. Big help. Actually, we were able to talk to Ron Barrows that day. I hadn't seen him for several years. He had been on conversations, so that was a nice part of that day as well.
Do you know when those are coming down, Jim? Is the program still going, or?
Yeah,
you need them
so
up?
we're looking at summer programming right now. We're talking about taking them down soon and probably replacing them with new banners, so. stay tuned.
Well, just the program is done, so, it's just taking up space on the townhouse.
That program was done, but there's
Yeah.
more programming to come, and those banners aren't specific to the program that was done, more of a general statement, but yeah, we're gonna refresh it, so it's got a different look to it. In July, we had a townhouse events planning committee was formed with several of our board members and active members, but we also had new people that hadn't been associated with us join the group for that. And just from July to the end of the year, they were able to organize 4 events for fundraising and to raise public awareness, and they've got more planned for the coming year. So that was a great addition. In the fall, we began working with a new fundraising consultant, her name is Sarah Lange, and this affiliation has helped us in numerous ways. With Sarah's help, we sent out 29 grant applications in December, totaling over $270,000 in potential awards. So far, we've received 2 awards totaling $11,500, had a couple rejections, and the remainder of those applications are pending. Through Representative Donna Berthium's help, North Brookfield was able to receive $50,000 as part of a year-ending state spending bill to be used exclusively on the Townhouse project. And then in November, our membership chairman initiated a year-end giving drive for our membership, which netted over $6,300 for our operating account. So far this year, and it's just the start of the year, but we've already put in a $35,000 grant application to Mass Cultural Council that we feel really good about being awarded. And I talked to our fundraising consultant today, and they're looking at another $350,000 worth of grants to apply to in the coming months. So a lot of opportunity to get money to move this project forward. So when we were active throughout the year, it was a busy year. Every year has been a busy year since I've been part of this organization. I have some incredibly dedicated people on my board and not board members who are members of the Friends who just step up constantly to do these things. You know, again, feeling confident that we'll be able to keep up that momentum coming up into the current year. Before I talk about the plans, I should say we were a little disappointed when we heard that someone brought up the possibility of RFP for the Townhouse. With all of what we put into it all this time, that was a tough one to hear that's a consideration. And so, you know, after thinking about it, for me, there's 2 possible reasons that I can think of why that would be. One is that there's just maybe not enough information out there. People don't know how much progress we've made, and that's why we decided to push well, tonight's meeting, but also include on the website quarterly updates so that people will know what's going on. And the other issue I think is patience. You know, everybody on my board would be perfectly happy if this project were done yesterday. Nobody wants a building sitting in the center of their town, the largest building in the center of their town, going unused for a lot of years. And we feel the same way. But I'm trying to preach patience to everybody I talk to, because the fast way is to bring it up before town meeting, get the town to vote to use taxpayer money for it, and then get it done. But we tried that. That didn't work, and it's not going to work because the townspeople are stressed with the tax dollars they're spending now. So the alternate route is the route that we're taking. Steps have to be done in succession. We have to get to that point. We're getting close to that point now, but I still preach patience on that. So hopefully that'll sort of answer those questions and quell those concerns. As far as 2022, I mentioned that the last piece that we need to get done to be considered shovel-ready to start construction is the final construction plans. And so we didn't get the grant we were looking for last year to pay for those. Raising money now with all these grants we're putting out for our target for what we're calling pre-development funding is June 1st to have $150,000. Between Donnie Berthium's $50,000, the $11,500 that we just got from the first 2 grants that came in, you know, we're almost halfway there. Confident that we can meet this goal by June 1st. In fact, I'm hopeful we'll meet it long before then, and we can start the process. We have the architect in line to do these final construction plans. And with these final construction plans will come reliable hard costs on what the construction project is going to be. And so once we have that in place, then we can go to large donors, large grants, corporations, foundations. But until we have those final construction plans in place, we can't go to those places. So that, again, that's another necessary step that has to be taken. Also, out of that $150,000 pre-development target that we have is money earmarked for an executive director, someone that can work in a paid capacity on a regular basis, week to week, on this project, and possibly with the DDC project as well. These issues are being ironed out, but that's another big part of that. And then some of that pre-development funding money will go towards paying bills of our consultants that have been working so hard for us. So that's the best update I can give you right now. Does anybody have any questions? In terms of timing, we'll have a timeline real soon too. Again, June 1st to get that pre-development funding. As soon as we have the money, the architect will start those final construction plans, and we'll know more about a timeline as far as starting that capital campaign. But we're awful hopeful that's going to be maybe summer or fall this year. We're going to be able to raise those larger numbers.
Excellent. No, thanks for taking the time to come in and
Yep.
clear that up for us. I know there were some questions. Yep, Bill.
What's the timeframe for having the construction plans completed?
So we have to raise the pre-development funding. June 1st is the deadline that we've set for ourselves, but it may come in before that. As soon as we have the money available to do that, we will pay the architect and he'll get started.
Is that a 6-month process, a 12-month process? Unknown.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work for us before. He's done architectural plans when we did the theater performance center feasibility study, and he actually extended them to the entire building. So he knows the building well, and I hope that's helpful to him in getting that process done as quickly as possible.
Anybody else got anything quickly?
I would just chime in and say, when Jim says it's a patient process, I would say that's true. Jack and I went out to another building, and I can't remember the town, in 2020, I believe, and it's the same architect that originally made our building and the other building in this other town, and the woman that we spoke to over there said it was a 10-year process. So, for them to start the process and finally get the building done and up and ready again, so. Jim's 8 years, he's got 2 more years left. How's that?
That was pre-pandemic.
That was pre-pandemic, yeah, yep.
Yeah, but I think it's just, there's not a lot of information out there, and people
Yeah.
just see it vacant and they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so
Right.
all your work is just being quietly done out of the
Yeah,
eye, so,
understandable. So we're gonna make sure
yeah.
we get that information out
Right.
from now on.
excellent.
So everybody's happy.
Thanks. Yeah, we were starting to do quarterly updates with you and the DDC people and all the different projects so that the information was out there for people, because there's a lot going on that people just don't know about, so. All right, thank you. What, Chet?
Joe has some smarts on how long it takes an architect to do what he needs to do. Could you fill us in or shed a little light on it, Joe?
You want to draw up the?
Yeah, when we did the architect on the fire station, it didn't take that long.
No, because most of the CAD programs they can plug stuff in pretty quickly. A lot of developments have already been done, and they just alter them to your particular building, so the guys that are really experienced at it, they can do them pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Once they get the
Several
go-ahead and they got the money to pay them,
Sure.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Jim's just reluctant to commit to anything.
Correct.
I've learned.
All right, thank you so much.
When you're talking funding, is that all coming from grant money? The funding to
The
get,
150 should be all coming in from grant money, correct?
and they've been applied for?
So in December, we applied for $260,000 worth of grants. We just did a $35,000 one this month, and there's plans for $350,000 more.
And it's all gonna go towards the engineering and?
Pre-development funding for all the purposes of pre-development
Yep.
funding, yeah.
Yep.
And whatever's left over towards the capital campaign.
So right now, we got bupkis, but it's coming.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Fire report.
I think I didn't know.
You got it? You wanna just read it?
Sure.
That'll save us time.
I got one more speech.
Monthly fire report for October and November 2021. One new application for a new North Brookfield firefighter. No fundraisers Tower 1, the load sensor, and 8 new batteries and 2 hydraulic hoses were repaired. Fire prevention, continue working on pre-fire plans, continue to respond as needed for any after-action situations. Attended school craft show with prevention materials, continuing classes online for prevention members, and will be filling an officer's position in January 2022. Training, airbag and vehicle extrication training, live fire training at our training center, 3 new recruits working on fire ground operations. 2 new recruits will be attending Mass Fire Academy training for 10 weeks in Springfield. General cleaning of the fire station. Responses: 0 structure fires, 11 medical assists, 9 smoke detector activations, 2 carbon monoxide activations, 2 illegal burns, 2 brush fires, 1 smoke investigation, 4 gas calls, 1 car fire, and 5 grants have been submitted to date for a variety of firefighting, protection, and equipment. 27 permit inspections. Sincerely, Chief Hallway.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the report of the fire chief.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
All
You're
right.
welcome. Thank you.
And Joe,
And
you
that's
said you
for
just
2
got a
months.
$10,000 grant?
Yeah,
For equipment?
10 and 5, that's for the Nomex suit. So I'll get 30 sets of either jumpsuit or pants and shirt for bush firefighting.
Mm-hmm.
I gave the guys the option of either one of those, but that's all paid for. It's not a matching grant, so we don't have to worry about putting any money into it.
Mhm.
And then the second grant is a VFA grant for 30 brush fire helmets. So they're not wearing heavy helmets out of brush fires that are rated, NFPA rated. And that's a matching grant, and that's gonna be $2,000 for the helmets. But I have $1,000 in the gift account to do the match if we get the grant. And the grant writer, the head of the grant called me the other day. It sounds like we're gonna get it.
Nice.
So the last one is $59,000 for the 18 sets of turnout gear that we're gonna have to ask for another lease in a year and a half or so. So if we can get that grant, we won't have to ask for that second lease to get the other half a set of turnout gears that run out. So that's what we're trying to do.
Excellent.
Thank you. And the guys, thank you. I'm sure they appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Anything else on that?
No.
Next up, Pioneer Valley Planning. Was it a commission, committee? I don't even know.
Yeah, Pioneer Valley Planning Commission.
Looking to discharge a lien, $40,000 for 61 Gilbert Street. These are just a matter of course for us now anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll entertain a motion to execute the document.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
What's today, 18th?
Yes.
Yep.
Right, let's see, we got a letter for the water department. They're asking us to sign a letter stating that they are an enterprise fund and that the department is funded through North Brookfield residents who have water service and not through the municipality, state, or federal grant, and that's for a construction project that they have to avoid the prevailing wage law. So I'll entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor on that?
Aye.
Then we have East Brookfield request for resources.
They're doing a 100th anniversary thing on the lake. Joe knows about it.
Yeah, they did a bonfire a few years ago.
Okay.
And they wanted to do another bonfire down there at that date, so they gave it to me because they don't need anything from us. East Brookfield Fire handles the bonfire.
Okay.
And it's only for a few hours, but I passed along to the police chief and he signed it, and then I wanted to make sure you guys got it.
Okay.
So I was doing them a favor, and then we'll try to get back. If you put it in my memo, I'll bring it back and get a chairman over there for the
Okay.
committee.
So, this doesn't count against North Brookfield's one bonfire, does it?
No, no,
If it's in our town,
no.
We precluded from,
Yes, that's for another town. We have we got that request right there from
Was on their property.
the
but
DCR
I
would
know
not
it's
be,
in North Brookfield.
DCR would not give us a problem knowing that Brookfield held the bonfire, and then we wanted one.
all right.
Oh, we have one?
We always have one.
Yeah, if we do something on the common,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
we always have one a year, right?
Where have
We
you been?
have been for the last few years, yeah.
I don't remember going to
we
it
had
last
it for
year.
the last couple with the pandemic.
Yeah, with the pandemic,
Yeah,
we
we haven't
haven't,
had
but,
it.
Oh, we haven't?
no,
No.
not the past 2 years.
I want a do-over.
Okay.
When would you have done it?
I don't
we
want
do
to
that?
I want a forward motion.
When do you do it, on
Do it
4th of July?
differently.
Is that-
No, when do we have it?
We did one
Is it-
when
It's,
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah, when they
well,
do the
they
trick or
had
treat.
done, they were doing something one year, they did it early, and then with the weather and stuff like that, then they started doing it on Halloween right after trick or treat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
DCR,
probably
if they
nicer
have a
on
question,
Halloween.
we would know that East Brookfield is doing it, it's just after doing a beach.
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Well, let's do one this year.
yeah,
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah?
all right, so I think that's all the business, did I miss anything?
I think that's everything.
All right, that's everything I have. One announcement, the town clerk's office is closed, unfortunately. Tara is indisposed for the medical issue, so that's gonna be closed for the foreseeable future. So we're looking into options on that. We'll have something at our next meeting as to some workaround for that. And that's it. Do you have anything?
I do. But in the meantime, Ashley is doing
I
3
gotcha.
times her job.
Yeah, she.
Just so everybody knows,
Yeah.
if you're having trouble getting through, Ashley's doing her best,
That's right.
along with the others down there.
So does she need to be sworn in?
Yeah, she does need to be sworn in.
Sheila can do that, can't she?
Sheila Buzzell
Sheila's-
is still assistant town clerk, so she can handle all
Okay.
the functions that Tara
Okay.
can
Yep.
handle. She,
So you'll need to see Sheila Buzzell, who's in the assessor's office, to be sworn in.
if you come see me, I'll point you in the right direction.
Maybe some of that money could be used for some help in there temporarily too.
Yeah, that's what, we brought that up earlier today too.
Yeah.
So do you have something else? that you wanted to
Just
say?
a few things. I wanna thank the highway.
Get comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, Joey didn't take up any time, so I got along.
Doesn't mean you get to.
I wanna thank the highway for taking care of the roads in town. I think they did a great job, regardless of what some people think. We have 5 trucks and 6 guys out there and 75 miles of road, to take care of. So the sanding, salting, and plowing, I think they're doing a great job. 2 weeks ago, on the Zoom meeting, we thanked Fran Huckins for the rail trail. He donated a loader to us that he's not using anymore. It was down at his building that the town just purchased, so I wanna thank Fran on the TV here for that donation. It's gonna come in really handy for moving fill for the rest of the rail trail. The rail trail work is kinda stopped for the winter. It's just too cold to do anything, but I am gonna run the trail a couple of times in the next snowstorm to pack it down so that people can walk it. Cause if you notice, there's like 5 footprints going down because the snow is getting hard to walk on. But my wife and I, or my son and I, will buzz it with the snowmobiles. And that's all that's gonna go on there. No other snowmobiles are allowed just because they see tracks. Country Auto Body has donated 800 gallons of waste oil to the new highway department building, cause they have a waste oil heater in there. And I talked to Shane, and he has 800 gallons. It's used motor oil, but we have a burner in there, so they're giving us 800 gallons. That should get us through most of the winter for that. And the storage units down in the back of Huck's building there, which is now the town property. We need to straighten out who's paying, who has stuff in those units, so if anybody's watching and anybody knows anybody that has stuff in any of those units, any checks now need to be made to the town of North Brookfield, not to Francis Huckins, And we need to know what unit you're in and a phone number and address so that we can get a hold of who's in there. Fran didn't keep the best records. He does have names, but that's pretty much it. Ashley and I, if it's okay with you guys, are gonna kinda take the lead on this thing and try to get it within a month or two established to where we have paperwork on everybody that's in there. If you move out, fine. We just don't wanna let it go too far and not get paid for the storage units down there. When people leave, they take the good stuff and they leave the yucky stuff there. We need to monitor who's going in there with their padlocks and, cause we don't wanna get hung with all the bad stuff. Which there's 7 of them now. People have left and they've left stuff that they didn't want in the unit, so it's gonna be on us to get rid of it, which means a dumpster and whatever, so. That was it. If you have any questions, call Ashley. She's not doing anything downtown. She'll answer your phone call. And she'll get a hold of me and we'll gotta try to make this work.
Well, on that note, thank you for the storage units that you're gonna let me use.
Yep.
I've been in the works of trying to collect things that we could use for the move for highway and or ourselves when we get ready to do things. And obviously,
Yep.
you're aware of it, but one of the nice things that's been offered up already is a beautiful stovetop, electric stove that's like brand new, with a warmer draw. Some beautiful kitchen cabinets coming out of a home in Rutland, a friend of mine that's redoing a kitchen. And it's beautiful stuff. Also brand new microwave, built-in microwave. I'm grabbing those things so that if the highway does a kitchen ad or we do our kitchen over upstairs, you know, no junk, just good stuff. I actually got donated to our family a beautiful Proform treadmill. That might be something that interests the police or somebody when time comes. Brand new, like brand new. So we can get in the storage and start collecting a few things that might cost savings for us down the road when we get this stuff going. So that's why I asked about the storage. And I thank you for the 3 bins you gave us.
Yep, I went down with Joe the other day and we had 3 in a row that we were able to do that for the other town departments, so.
How many are there?
That was it, 65.
Wow.
But there's about 35-ish that still have locks on. We know most of the people down there, but some of them have gone, and we don't know, so we gotta try to figure that out.
So we're getting income from those storage?
Not yet, that's what we.
That's the plan?
That's the plan, yep, to get income from the ones that are in there. So we're not gonna rent any new ones out, just keep the ones that are there for now.
All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it, sorry.
Okay. Have anything?
That's it?
All right, public comment, anybody?
Can I follow up on something that you said? The town can only have 1 bonfire a year?
Yeah,
I have.
according to the killjoy back there, yeah.
No. He'll give you all you want.
No, it's
I
the
have to
state,
tell him,
it's the
no,
state,
no,
I know.
Yeah, the state.
We've had this discussion.
The way it is that we give burning permits out for burning brush, yes.
Yeah.
They do legally, but DCR allows each town to have a bonfire every season.
Yeah.
At some point in the season.
Yeah.
That's governed by
The state, yeah,
Yeah,
so.
that's governed by the state.
The messenger just gets the.
Will be good.
What if it's a protest bonfire? Then you can do it.
You can do it. We'll do that.
They're not gonna have a problem with that bonfire. Thank you.
All right, anything else? Anybody? Going once? Going twice?
Oh, I had one, no, I don't.
All right,
Move to adjourn.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion is seconded. All in favor? Aye. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.